Get ready for it. I'm about to insult your baby. Okay, not actually. I'm going to let you insult my baby. So take a look at this picture. I want you to look at this precious baby and I want you to tell me what's wrong with it. Is her nose a little weird? Maybe her head's too big, maybe too pale. I hope that seemed a little ridiculous to you. My name's Aryn Michelle. You can call me the Song Guru. And today our lesson is all about precious babies and Play-Doh monsters. A lot of songwriters struggle to grow because they think about their songs like precious babies. They talk about their songs like they're their babies. And the problem with this is you can't critique precious babies, right? I hope you experienced that when I showed you this picture that is my actual child, who is much bigger than this now. But you can't look at a precious baby and pick it apart. Why? Because the person who that precious baby belongs to is very offended when you criticize it. So what I want you to stop doing is stop thinking about your songs as precious babies and start thinking about them as Play-Doh monsters. Playing with Play-Doh is so satisfying and so fun because it can be anything you want. And then the second you decide, I don't like it, or I want it to be something different, you can squash it and start over. And I want to encourage you to start thinking about your songs that way. Think of them as something that's fun to play with. It's not precious, it's not glass. You're not going to hurt your own feelings. You're not going to put the pressure on it to be perfect and precious if you're willing to twist it, bend it, pull it apart, shape it, and play with it. It can be really hard, especially if you're a beginning songwriter, to think of your song as a Play-Doh monster instead of a precious baby, because most of us approach songwriting because it's an outlet for big feelings, for processing trauma or our emotions. Like, we've just got to get all that stuff out that's very real, very authentic, very important to us. So how in the world could we take something like that and smash it? What I'm not asking you to do is smash your feelings. What I'm asking you to do is to think about your creativity and your creations as something that you can play with, something that brings you joy, something that's fun, even if you're dealing with heavy feelings. And I want you to be willing to do this because I want you to grow. If you see all of your songs as a precious baby, then you can't accept criticism from other people. You can't accept internal editing criticism from yourself. You're never going to touch them. You're never going to change them. You're never going to continue to grow up and mold your songs to be something better if they're too precious to touch. So I want to give you some helpful tips to begin receiving constructive criticism if you're at the point where you're ready to make the jump from precious baby to Play-Doh monster. The number one thing is you have to ask for it. Before you write your songs by yourself and call them done, seek out friends, family, songwriting peers to get feedback on your songs. The best feedback you can get is from other creatives that are kind of working at the same level that you're working at. And then when you take the time to ask for constructive criticism, the second thing you need to do is just receive it. Receive all of it. So when people are giving you constructive criticism, you could take a voice memo so that you remember it, or you could write everything down that they say. What you should not do is try to justify all your choices to the person who's trying to help give you feedback. For example, oh, Aryn, I really like that Play-Doh monster, but I wonder, did you consider trying to add some arms? No, obviously it's got a no arm monster. That's what I meant. So, no arms. Kind of feels like, oh, hey, Aryn, I really love that chorus, but I wonder if we could play with the melody a little bit so it's got a little bit more of a melodic, memorable hook. No, clearly it's a no hook song. That's what I was going for. No hooks. All right, I'm being silly and extreme. What I mean is have a willing spirit to receive the criticism and not give a justification for every single thing that someone offers you while you're in conversation with them. Now, you receive it, you take your voice memo or you write it down, and if in your head you're like, I don't think so, that's fine. You're the writer. You don't have to receive all the criticism that you get and put it in your song. You just have to have a willing spirit to receive it in the moment and to try it on and think about it later. Lastly, don't subject yourself to creative abuse. If someone's giving you feedback like, well, I just don't like it, or it's not good, those aren't helpful pieces of feedback. The feedback that you're looking for from people is specific. Ask them for the details. If they give you feedback like, well, I'm having a hard time remembering it, ask them, do you think it's the lyric? Do you think it's the melody? Or ask them questions like, what do you think this song was about? Or who do you think the singer is? But Play-Doh monstering is not just about accepting constructive criticism from others. It's being willing to imagine the thing that you're creating as something else while you're in the process of creating it. You know, I could look at my monster and be like, you know what? I think that arm is actually a leg. And in the same way, you could look at something you're writing in your song and be like, you know what? I think that pre-chorus is actually my bridge. When you're willing to squish and twist and turn and build your songs, you're going to have a lot more fun songwriting. So let's get practical. It might be hard to start Play-Doh monstering with a song that you've already written. So we're going to Play-Doh monster with a song that somebody else wrote to take the pressure off. We're going to look at the chorus lyric from this famous Friends theme song, I'll Be There For You. It's just 6 lines. And what I want you to do is start to imagine this thing as something else. So maybe we'll start out and change the pronouns around, change the point of view. Instead of I'll be there for you, how about you've been there for me? And then we can change the song form, right? This doesn't have to be a 6-line song section. Maybe we can start with you've been there for me, and then we could create our own line for something from our own life where someone's been there for us. So I'm going to rewrite it as you've been there for me when I was losing my mind. In the original lyric, there was the title and then a different line, and that different line kept rhyming throughout the song section. But I can make it my own. Let's make my own rhyme scheme. How about something like, you've been there for me when I was losing my mind. You've been there for me when I hit rock bottom. Again, we can keep mixing it up. And how about we just have a 5-line song section and we change the title, the last line at the end? How about something like, you've been there for me when I was losing my mind. You've been there for me when I hit rock bottom, and you'll be there for me this time. So that's your playtime activity. I want you to try it right now. You can rewrite I'll Be There For You, a section of that, or you can pick another song from somebody else that you like and do your own lyric remix. And remember, if you want to write songs about your life or about the things you love, or you just want to make some Play-Doh monsters, I can help you with that. I'm Aryn Michelle, the Song Guru. I'll see you next time.
The Song Guru.